Hey everybody, Space Goats here. We're going to do a little PC update on my current build, and I also want to talk about water lines. A lot of people that maybe might be new to building custom water loop might not know that there is multiple different sizes of water lines, multiple different thicknesses, multiple different types of water lines. There could be all kinds of different things when it comes to water lines. I like using the PETG lines. I do have, not sure where they're at. Oh, they're over in a different location. Some acrylic type lines. They're a little more difficult to work with when it comes to cutting. You have to use like a saw to actually cut those. PETG, you can use a PEX type tool, something like one of these right here. Pretty simple to work with. Open them up, ratchet down, put a little pressure, give it a little twist, and the lines just pop off. This is a line that I like using. Like I said, it's PETG. It's been pretty easy to work with. One of the other things you can get is a little tool like this right here. Has a little ball bearing on the end of it. Goes inside of the tubing. It allows you to actually round the corners off. Let's see, that's a factory one. This is the one I did. Allows you to round these corners off real nice, and it will slip into the water fittings and stuff real simply and easy. But anyways, let's take a look at my current system that I've been working on here. Like I said before, I got a 54mm radiator here. I already got quite a few of the water lines already done. Let's follow the flow here. Okay, you can see right back here is my water pump. This is the main reservoir part of the water block. So it sucks water in from the center. It comes out here. I did a little bit different on my routing with this particular water block. So I wanted to, a lot of times when they're using these water blocks like this, in this particular case, in this particular setup, they have the water coming out of the radiator into the reservoir, and then they have it coming out of this into the second radiator down here, and then it goes into the graphics card and tags back in through. So you're going through the radiator through two radiators, then it goes to the GPU, then goes to the CPU, and then back to the radiator. Well, I didn't want to route it that way. I wanted to have my radiator down here on the bottom, cool my graphics card, my radiator on top up here, cool the CPU. So I ended up putting a loop here, bypass the outlet here, because like I said, a lot of times people will route it here and then drop it down over here to the inlet of the radiator. But a loop, I go in here, comes out here, into the graphics card, out the graphics card, back in my radiator. I don't have the line made yet. I'm fixing to do that here in just a minute. And it's going to come out the radiator, up to here, goes into here. I have it set to come out here, back into my CPU. Now on this particular CPU water block, there's an inlet and an outlet. This side would be my inlet and this side is my outlet, depending on how you mount it. Going to come out my CPU. This is my EK water block built into this motherboard specifically. So it's coming into the water block, out the water block, and then up here comes into the radiator, out my radiator, back into the reservoir. So it pretty simple. Well, let me show you how I make a water line real quick and see if I can do this on camera. I don't know how well this is going to work, but see if I can get set up to where I can do this. I have my heat gun. Let's see. I got it set at 600 degrees. And this is what I use most of the time. And I got my water line. Now this right here is the black rubber, or the rubber, what the hell they call this stuff. Anyways, it goes inside of inside your water line, and it allows you to bend it without deforming the water line as much. It still deforms a little bit. Once you get water in the system and all the lights and everything going, you really don't see the deformations as much, but I can still see a slight deformation in just about every single bend, no matter how careful I am to bend it. Another thing is that I use a EVGA Modulus. It's a little block. It allows me to do a 45-degree bend here or a 90-degree bend there. This is meant to be bolted down to a table, but I don't bolt it down. I just lay it on top of my workbench and bend it. So let me fire this up. I don't know how. Hopefully it's not too loud. Get some heat in this thing. And I also got to think about how long I need to have this out to be able to make my radius to go up into my water block. So I need to have about 3 inches. So I'll probably start my bend about here. Give me about 4 inches of line. So we'll come up here. I just slowly rotate this thing. And it will get hot, so you gotta be careful not to burn yourself with this. Just slowly rotate it. This is the part you gotta be a little bit patient with. You don't want to force it. We'll see here in a second, it'll start to relax, and as it starts to relax, it'll kind of droop a little bit. And what I try to do is I kind of just let it start to droop, and if I put a little bit of pressure on it, I'll watch the line and see if it's trying to kink anywhere, or is it trying to deform. There you go, see? Now, here it goes. And then give a little extra. Slowly bend down on it, just kind of feeling if there's any kind of resistance on it. Alright, I think we're getting close. Now, I'll lay this on my little fixture here. Turn that off, and as you see, I laid in my fixture, just like so. Let that sit for a minute or so and cool off. If you, like I said, if you're not careful, it is hot. It will burn you. We'll blow on a little bit. Now what I'll do is I will slowly pull this thing up and see if it's trying to move. I think we're good. Now if I carefully pull the tube out, we theoretically should have really close to a 90-degree bend. Now, what I have done in the past, and it depends on the way it lays in here, if you're not careful and you got a lot of heat in this area right here, it'll be flexible here. So if you're not careful, it will try to move this way a little bit. And what I've done in the past is applied just a tiny bit of heat ever so slightly, and you can raise this back out. You can raise the corner just a little bit to get it exactly 90 degrees. So this block here, let's see how it's going to lay on the block. I don't have, I need a radius gauge. What I need, I don't have my radius gauges here right now, but it's really close though. I might need to bring this up just ever so slightly. As it gets longer, it gets more noticeable, but just ever so slightly. And that's it. That's how we do a water line. I turn you back around here. Let's see if you can got too many water lines in the way, kind of hard to see. Let me, there we go. See right here, this is the fitting right here, and we want to come down to this fitting right there. So what I'll end up doing is I will start off, I got my bend way too long, so I'll start off with a ballpark cut. That's going to get me close. So I'll lay this in here, something like that. And I want, let's cut it right there. That's going to be way long, but like I said, put a little pressure on this thing, hold it straight, and hold the pressure, and I can just rotate this back and forth a little bit and keep the pressure on it, and it cuts right off. Pretty simple. Like I said, the acrylic stuff is a little, it can be a little brittle. Clean the corners up on the edge here a little bit, just in case I want to try to fit this fitting in here, line in the fitting. See, now that's going to get me really close to where I want. I got to cut a little bit more off, but not a big deal. Now I need to figure out my length. Let's go there. Let me cut this one off real quick. Now that's what I try to do a lot of times when I do these water lines, is I try not to waste a lot. This system right here, I'm going to end up using better part of 6 pieces of actual sticks of water line. I do got a few pieces left over that I could use for some of the little some of the loop stuff that I have going on, but I'll keep them all in case I need something for another system. Alright, now what I'll do is, I know just from experience with these particular fittings that I use, that how far I got to go into them approximately into each one of these fittings. These 90-degree fittings right here, they have 2 O-rings, two O-rings inside, and then it bottoms out. So what I do is I'll go ahead and set it in there, let it bottom out, and then I will set that line where I want it, and I'll make sure it's straight. Hopefully you can see that. Let me move this around a little bit so maybe we can get a better shot of that. Yeah, there we go. See, now I got it back where I want it. And I know from experience this water line will stick in here to about right there or so on this fitting, so I need to cut off about 1/4 inch on this one. So let's see if I can do it with my cutlass. If not, I'll have to grind it off with the beveling tool. Alright. Now, theoretically, and see that tool I got, it rounds these corners off real nice, so everything's nice and smooth. There's nothing to burr up get caught on the fittings or the O-rings. Now I will, when I get done with this, I will go ahead and, there we go, make sure that thing actually, what does it look like? Oh, needs a little bit more cut off, I think. Yeah, But that's basically how I do it. Like I said, I'll come in here and cut the bottom off, and I'll do the same thing. Actually, I need to loosen up the bend a little bit. It's a little bit too tight of a 45. It went beyond 45 just a few degrees, so it's not lining up straight. It needs to be about like that. So I need to pull this thing out about 1/4 of an inch. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's all I wanted to show you. I said this is how I do it. And a lot of times you come in and I'll cut it and trim it, and I'll just keep trimming them back until I get the line to actually fit, you know, how I want it. This system here, I wanted to do kind of more 45s in it and stuff. Some of my other systems I've done, I've come in and I took a fitting like this 95 or this 45 degree or 90 degree fitting. Wow, I can't even talk today. I'll take this 45 degree fitting and I'll turn it this direction and I'll shoot it straight back with a like a 45 or something right here and just make a straight line out of it. I think a 45 would get it. It'd be dang close. And I just straight line it. The problem that I ran into a lot of times is if I want to change something around, or I want to take the RAM out, or I want to take an SSD off. I was having clearance issues, and so I was trying to keep all my lines kind of away from stuff and tucked up pretty tight so I can get access into the system if I have to. But all right, guys, well, that's all I wanted to video today. Hopefully you get some good information out of it. If not, ask questions and I'll answer what I can. I'm not a Jay's 2 cents or anybody like that, and I haven't, you know, I haven't done a lot of water cooled systems. This makes number 4 now that I've done. So, but all right, guys, well, I'll see you in the next one.